Hi there, students. Okay, this video is about the phrasal verb to break down. Okay, the first easy meaning for to break down is a mechanical failure. Wow. For example, your car can break down. I broke down on the motorway and I needed a tow truck to take me to the garage. You could break down as in have a mental breakdown. Okay, so you could have a mental breakdown, psychological weakening, and you don't know what to do. If if somebody starts crying, they break down. He broke down in tears. And you could break down something to classify it into more detail. For example, the statistical analysis breaks down how people spend their money. And again, to break down, to chemically decompose, to break down into simpler chemicals. For example, plastic does not break down if you throw it in the sea. Okay, it doesn't break down into smaller compounds. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Okay, an engine or a car or machinery or even communications can break down. They stop working. But we can use this meaning to break down metaphorically to talk about negotiations, a plan, a relationship. Their relationship broke down. Something that's broken down could be in bad condition, broken. Maybe it still works, but it's not in good condition. So I bought a broken down house. Notice broken down, phrasal adjective. It was in very bad condition. That broken down old car of yours isn't worth £100. So when they're saying that broken down car of yours, it still maybe works, but it's in really bad condition. Okay, so all sorts of things can break down, not just a machine. And that effectively leads me to the mental breakdown. He had a psychological breakdown. This talks about a physical or mental weakening of the body. His health broke down. He had a nervous breakdown. Yeah? Okay, to break down into tears. Yeah? So maybe we're thinking of the mechanical failure metaphorically. When he heard the news, he broke down. He broke down crying. Okay? And then this meaning to classify into detail. Do you think you could break down the money that I've spent? Yeah, you need to break down your expenses into transport, hotel bills, and food. And then remember, something can break down chemically. Or maybe you eat food and your stomach breaks down the sugar. Yeah, it breaks down into simpler chemical compounds, or maybe the constituent parts. It breaks down. Okay, let's see. Most normally, to break down is intransitive, no verb. So the car broke down, it stopped working. The negotiations broke down, they broke down. He broke down in tears, again intransitive. His health broke down, intransitive. But notice, to separate into constituent parts, could you break this bill down? Please break it down. Here we have a separable phrasal verb. Yeah? The pollution does not break down in the environment. Again, intransitive. Okay, what about formality? Well, this is a phrasal verb, and phrasal verbs are always pretty informal. Yeah? They're good when you're having a conversation with a friend. They're good when you're speaking, but for a formal academic writing, try to use different words. So, my car broke down. My car stopped working. He broke down in tears. He started crying. He had a mental breakdown. He had a mental episode. Could you break this bill down into the constituent parts? Could you separate it into its constituents? So there you go with some maybe more formal words that you could use instead of breakdown if you were writing. Okay? So, also remember, break is an irregular verb. Break, broke, broken. So don't make a mistake when using that. It's an easy thing to make a silly little mistake. Okay, so to break down, to break into smaller parts, a mechanical failure. Okay, the plan broke down, metaphorical. He had a mental breakdown. He broke down mentally. Maybe if you keep on at him, if you keep on trying, eventually you will break down his resistance. He broke down into tears when he heard the news of his friend's death. He broke down. Yeah? And could you break this down into the constituent parts? Could you break this down? Give me a statistical analysis. Could you break down your expenditure? And then something that decomposes, that chemically reacts to make simpler products, is breaking down. Okay? So there you go. To break down, lots of different meanings. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. To break down.